to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is the Coffee Talk Podcast Cultural Studies Night. Tonight, we bring you the story of Marcus Garvey from the book titled Crossing the Danger Waters by Deidre Mullane. We also discuss kickball and community and how it becomes a great networking tool through fanfare and sport. Who brings you the flavor and the wise words? Coffee Talk Podcast. Welcome to our show. What it do? Greetings to you all. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, and as I stated, it is M. Saba, and I am your host here at the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And definitely. Just want to say thank you for tuning in. We are back for another podcast. Again, this is Sunday night. This is our Cultural Studies Night. And what we like to do is we just like to pay homage to our ancestors, whether they're living or whether they went on to the essence. You know, our ancestors left a lot for us through our history, through the world history, which is our history. We love to give props to our doctors, our lawyers, our scholars, our poets, our authors, our leaders. And so that's what we're here for tonight. Tonight, we got a great show in store. And if this is your first time tuning in into our show, we never start our show without giving you what we call the flavor as well as the wise word. So what is the flavor? The flavor can be anything that you're sipping on, whether that be some water, some wine, a smoothie, a latte, some coffee, some juice of some sort, some fruit of some sort, whatever that may be. But that's the flavor that we like to bring you, because we do believe in a healthy body and a healthy mind. You know what I'm talking about? And then we love to go ahead and drop a little jewel on you. We love to go ahead and give you what we call the wise words. The wise words come from our ancestors, again, whether living or whether they passed on to the essence. The wise words is encouraging words. The wise words are words of enlightenment, words of endearment, words of motivation. And so that's what we call it, the wise words. And they're typically from our ancestors. Again, we love to give you positive coverage throughout. So no doubt to that. So those are the wise words. And let's go ahead and begin our show tonight. Tonight's flavor. I had to pick this out because you wouldn't believe, here in the Twin Cities yesterday, it was 70 degrees outside. It was beautiful. You know what I mean? It felt like the beginnings of summer. Everybody was smiling. You had to forewarn some people, like our children. You know, one of my son, he was getting ready to go outside with his shorts on. And, you know, that is a Minnesota thing to some cultures up here, but not ours. So I had to warn him. I said, hey, son, you don't want to go out. I know it's 70 degrees. It feels great, but you don't want to go out there with your shorts on, buddy, man. You know, you may get sick. Minnesota is a very bipolar state when it comes to weather. So lo and behold, today, 33 degrees, which is beautiful for March. However, you know, we got about a 10 mile per hour wind chill going on right now. So it's very chilly outside. So that's just a straight 40-degree drop as of since yesterday. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, it's bipolar. I'll tell you, it's definitely bipolar weather here in the Twin Cities. But look, we're happy to be here. You're here. I'm here. Hey, we're back at it. So, tonight's flavor, I thought would just be great. I can envision myself. I just had some matter of fact, sipping on it, nice, warm for the body, for the soul, for the mind. But tonight's flavor is called green tea, green mint tea, by the way. And I chose that because I would love to go over the five benefits of green mint tea. So the five benefits is this. Number one, green mint tea freshens your breath. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, we all been caught with some stale breath before. So yeah, it definitely freshens your breath. Number two, it helps reduce caffeine intake. Number three, it may help boost your immune system. Green tea and mint tea. Number four, it also reduces stress. Hey, tea is good for that. And then number five, green tea, mint tea also helps with pain relief. You know what I'm saying? When you get to be our age, you definitely need that pain relief. You know what I'm saying? For them knees, for that back, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? So on a chilly night like tonight, gather yourself, flop down on your favorite chair, uh, couch, sofa, whatever, and then enjoy you some green tea. You know what I mean? It's green tea, mint tea. That's the flavor for tonight. All right. Now we're gonna move right along to what we call the wise words. And the wise words come from somebody that's very dear to me. Um, spiritual leader, big brother, spiritual big brother. Um, he was born May 11th, 1933, in the Bronx, New York. And he later moved to Boston, Massachusetts. He is the renowned world leader of the Nation of Islam, and that is Mr. Minister Farrakhan. And Minister Farrakhan, one of the quotes we're going to quote from him is from a book that he has out called Teachings 2.0. There goes the book right there. And on page 42, there was a question that was presented to him. And so we want to answer it as he did. And these are his wise words. So let's go ahead and begin with the question. The question is, can you give me critical steps to bringing my ideas into reality? Can you give me critical steps to bringing my ideas into reality? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, if you have a good idea and you have persons who you trust to share your idea with, then out of that group may come the help you need to bring your idea into fruition. There never was a great man or woman with a great idea that did not need helpers to bring that idea into fruition. May God bless you with the help you need to bring your idea into reality. Those are the wise words of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, who we love and adore on our show here at Coffee Talk Podcast. So what do you think of that when it comes to ideas? One of the things that stood out to me is that, you have so many people that have this ego or this wall of defense up that want dearly in their heart and mind to manifest their ideas on their own. And yes, we do have the power and the strength and the frequency to manifest ideas into a reality. But it's so helpful when you can put those ideas into a strategic mount or plan by adding resources or adding people that'll help you along the way to reach the ideas that you manifest. So that's just something that I want you to think about. And that's why I chose the minister's response to that question. Um, and you know what? I feel like reading that one more time. So if you're just tuning in, these are the wise words tonight for Coffee Talk Podcast. Again, it's from the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's from page 42 of the book, The Teachings 2.0. And again, the question was, can you give me critical steps to bringing my ideas into reality? And the minister recited and stated, if you have a good idea and you have persons who you trust to share your idea with, then out of that group may come the help you need to bring your idea into fruition. There never was a great man or woman with a great idea that did not need helpers to bring that idea to fruition. May God bless you with the help you need to bring your idea into reality. All right, all right. So let's go ahead and move right along to our next segment. Our next segment is, just communities coming together, all in the name of kickball. That's right. We're talking about kickball. Yes, definitely kickball. And kickball has been popular and it's continuing to grow, but it has been really taking off in these last 5 years. Um, Actually, it started to kick off right after COVID, when we got to be back outside. You know what I'm saying? Kickball is a sport that was started around 1917. And it was from a gentleman, and I apologize, I don't have the gentleman's name here right now. When I was doing the homework on this, but he started kickball just to show an example of how to play baseball. So baseball and kickball has a lot of the same rules to it, but that is how kickball came about. Fast forward, kickball today brings out community. Yes, you have communities all over the city, all over the states. Different cities have different leagues, and kickball is bringing people together. It's a great networking build where you start to enjoy your community. You start to form teams with different people from corporations where you work at, or where you may attend a church or men's groups or anything like that. But it is bringing out people in the community, and again, it is a very great, very good networking tool. One of the things that you can see with the growth of kickball is that you have small businesses now turning out to the games. It's very community based. The children can come. You hear much beautiful laughter with the kids. This is something that the elders can come out and show support, and they do. And with beautiful weather, elders, the beautiful laughter of children, and the competitiveness of the two teams competing, it's just a joy. You know what I'm talking about? It's definitely a joy. So with that being said, I just want to give a shout out to the Twin Cities, man. There's two Twin Cities kickball leagues that will be performing or starting their leagues, I should say, in the next months or so here. But Rondo Kickball League, who I was a member of the first year that I played with, the inaugural league year. It's now going in its fifth or sixth year. But again, it's still going strong. So I definitely want to give a shout out to the Rondo Kickball League here in the Twin Cities. And there's also the kickball leagues that's over there in Minneapolis as well. They're doing a wonderful job there. And another thing I would like to mention about kickball is, man, I've seen kickball now make it to the big leagues. I'm seeing kickball on ESPN's, some of our, our news outlets over there are showing it. So that just it shows that, hey, man, kickball's for everybody. Typically, it's co-ed, is very fan friendly, it's family friendly, and is very competitive, man. So hats off to all of those people that are enjoying kickball, that are networking, that are out there competing. It's a great exercise, you know what I mean? And it's just a very fun time. So big shout outs to all of the communities statewide that has kickball leagues. All right. So now let's go ahead and move right into our subject for tonight. As you know, Coffee Talk Podcast encourages reading. We're very big on that. We have to improve our reading, and it's a good exercise of the mind. But not only is it just a good exercise of the mind, but it builds the vocabulary. It allows you to be able to think critically as well as walk into different types of rooms and be able to hold your own in conversation. So we encourage that. We encourage literature. And that's what we're going to continue to push here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Big shout out to LeVar Burton. Big shout out to LeVar Burton of Reading Rainbow, as well as Mr. Rogers from PBS's Mr. Rogers Show. Those are influences that helped in a way of our construction of building this great show, Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so tonight's reading, again, I know it's a short reading, but it's a great reading. Again, we want you to unwind. We want you to come on into our great home here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Kick your feet up. Pour you something to drink, whether that's wine, water, a smoothie, something healthy for the mind, something that will relax you and reduce your stress from the wild world we have out there. And enjoy a great reading. So tonight, again, we're reading from the Crossing the Danger Waters, and we will be talking about the great Marcus Garvey, 1887 to 1940. This is a short read. We ask that you listen, reflect on what you're hearing, build questions if you like, and go ahead and shoot them into our chat. We will be open to having discussions with you because, hey, these are great discussions, great healthy discussions. And just tell us how does this story make you feel? What did you take from it? And so forth. So again, we are discussing Marcus Garvey. And let's see here. I'm going to try to turn my light up just a little bit. There we go. Let's begin. Marcus Garvey, 1887 to 1940. Arising out of the profound cynicism breed by the broken promises of the Great War, the wave of riots and lynchings, and the huge movement of most Southern rural blacks to urban areas. Marcus Garvey assembled in the 1920s the largest black mass organization in this nation's history. Garvey was born in Jamaica of ancestors who had taken part in one of the most successful of the slave revolts that had been widespread in the Caribbean from the 17th century. According to Garvey's wife, Garvey's mother sensed that her son would become a leader of his people. And though he was named Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he was called Moses. When he was 15, Garvey learned the printing trade, and at 18 continued his profession in Kingston, where he became involved in a printers union strike and worked on the first of many newspapers. He traveled over the next 2 years in Costa Rica, Guatemala, Panama, Nicaragua, Ecuador, Chile, and Peru, trying to organize West Indian laborers. Sometime around 1912, Garvey went to England, where he worked on the docks in London, Cardiff, and Liverpool, and met Deuce Muhammad Ali, an Egyptian scholar and Pan-Africanist who impressed upon Garvey the link between present-day Africa and ancient Egyptian civilizations and the current exploitation of Africa's resources by the European nations that had nearly divided her up. Garvey, who studied law and philosophy and there first read Booker T. Washington's Up from Slavery, it was then, he writes, that my doom, if I may so call it, of being a race leader dawned upon me. I asked, where is the black man's government? Where is his king and his kingdom? Where is his president, his country, his ambassador, his army, his navy, his men of big affairs? I could not find them. And then I declared I will help to make them. In a 1913 article, he wrote that the scattered peoples of the West Indies would create an empire on which the sun shall shine. The sun shall shine as ceasingly as it shines on the empire of the North today. In 1914, Garvey returned to Jamaica and founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League with the program of uniting all the Negro peoples of the world into one great body to establish a country and government absolutely of their own. He corresponded with Booker T. Washington and established educational and industrial colleges modeled after Tuskegee Institute. In 1916, Garvey came to New York and the following year began a speaking tour. By 1919, there were branches of UNIA in 36 states and around the world. And Garvey had established his widely read journal, The Negro World, and had launched the Black Star Line to transport people and goods to and from Africa. To the high point of the early Garvey movement was the first international convention of the Negro peoples of the world, held in New York City in August 1920, which issued the declaration that follows. The opening ceremony held in Madison Square Garden was attended by an estimated 20,000 to 25,000 persons spilling over into the streets. The thousands who could not get in the auditorium, wrote Garvey's widow, just stayed around the adjacent streets and discussed the day's happenings as something they never thought possible. The movement adopted an item and colors, and eventually the African Orthodox Church was established. Now the black man was searching for a new God as well as a new land, writes historian John Henrik Clark. Garvey was not without the detractors, white and black. Du Bois, who was himself highly involved in the Pan-African efforts, sharply criticized Garvey publicly. Though Garvey was an extraordinary leader of men, Du Bois wrote, he also has a very serious defects of temperament and training. He is dictatorial, domineering, inordinately vain, and very suspicious. We talked about this last week, y'all, about Du Bois. His dreams of Negro industry, commerce, and the ultimate freedom of Africa are feasible. But his methods are bombastic, wasteful, illogic, ineffective, and almost illegal. Du Bois regretted, too, that Garvey had chosen to emphasize the antagonism between blacks and mulattoes, of which, of course, Du Bois was one. The whites are delighted at the prospect of a division of our solidifying phalanx. In January 1922, Garvey and 3 Black Star officials were arrested for defrauding their shareholders. Garvey was convicted in 1923, and soon after he was transferred to Atlanta prison in 1925, he issued an imprisoned letter to his followers, arguing that he would be redeemed by history. When I am dead, he wrote, wrap the mantle of red, black, and green around me. For in the new life, I shall rise with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions up the heights of triumph with the colors that you well know. Look for me in the whirlwind of the storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace, I shall come and bring with me countless millions of black slaves who had died in America and the West Indies and the millions in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Garvey's 5-year sentence was commuted in 1927 and he was deported to Jamaica. Though he tried to revive his movement, he had lost his important base of power in the United States. His interests were bankrupt and the depression had set in. He moved to London in 1935 and where he died on June 10th, 1940. Despite his failure, Garvey had made his name and organization, writes Clark, household words in nearly every part of the world where Black people lived, and had demonstrated the profound and widespread discontent among the masses. This is the story of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Very, very interesting story tonight of Marcus Garvey. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not too happy with W.E.B. Du Bois. In today's world, I would probably call W.E.B. Du Bois, who is one of our ancestors, no disrespect. But W.E.B. Du Bois, I believe, was trying to fit in with the colonizer. As you can see, he never said anything positive about Marcus Garvey. Some of the things that stood out to me is when he got to talking about Marcus Garvey, and he mentions here, just give me a second. When Du Bois had sharply criticized Garvey publicly instead of privately. And then he also said, he didn't like the fact that Garvey was a strong Black man. He wanted to use Garvey's fight articulately and mentally. He wanted to state that was a temperament. He also wanted to say that that Garvey was bombastic and wasteful and illogical and ineffective. It didn't sound ineffective to me when a man like Marcus Garvey can start what you call the Black Star Line that was transporting people and goods from here to Africa. I wonder what Du Bois would say today. And I know he would probably hold us accountable a little bit, but today we don't own anything. Not the full share. Today, it was over 100 years later. And it's interesting how once Garvey started to establish that and motivate people in the masses of 20,000 and 25,000 at Madison Square Garden, how all of a sudden chumped up charges started to appear. And of course, that's how it's always been. Look at our people today. Whenever we get to some level where we can flex ourselves, flex our power, go back and help brothers and sisters. Here comes some trumped up charges or some tax evasion or something to strip us of our income, our monetary gains, something to strip us of our integrity and have us looking bombastic, as as Du Bois had called Garvey, stated he was wasteful and ineffective. It sounds to me like Du Bois was talking he was talking vicariously, or having people speak through him vicariously. And because Du Bois was trying to fit in, he took anger and he took judgment towards Marcus Garvey. He felt shameful because he was black and a mulatto. I don't like to use that word, but I'm just using this for this particular story that we just read. Garvey was a full black man of Jamaican descent, so you know they speak with confidence and power and courageousness and courage. It's a better word. What is your thoughts about Du Bois? Do you sense any signs of jealousy? Why couldn't they have worked together? Follow up as to last week's episode on our cultural studies night, and we spoke about Du Bois, W.E.B. Du Bois. So if you need to go back and watch that episode, please do so, and then fast forward to this one. We would definitely love to hear what your thoughts are on the two leaders, our ancestors. Yes, we definitely would love to hear your thoughts. But tonight, we pay homage to Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I'm going to hit him with the universal peace sign. You know, we love you, Doc. And that's our show for tonight. Go ahead and check us out, Coffee Talk Podcast. We are the Cultural Variety Podcast Show, and we like to come and get you out of the matrix of negative noise, negative vibrations, negative frequency, old news media that does nothing but share negative news stories. We love to come and capture you and bring you on over here where you can relax, reduce your stress, kick your feet up, sip on something, see a black man reading. It's fulfilling, and making sure that you enjoy the flavor. Coffee Talk Podcast. All right. So that's our show for tonight. Go ahead and let us know that you was here. Go ahead and leave a nice what up, what it do, peace, whatever you want to do in the chat line. Let us know we was here. We'll definitely give you a big shout out throughout the week. Thank you again for supporting our show, Coffee Talk Podcast. We are a cultural variety podcast show. We appear 3 times a week. Sunday, Mondays is our cultural studies night. Wednesdays is our sports night. And no, we're not like your typical sports show. We don't care about who won or lost these games, but we do care about bringing you the different intricacies that goes on in the world of sports. And then on Friday, Saturday night, again, we like to be here for you. You know, a lot of us don't party no more. We don't like to be out in the streets where it's not safe, but we love to crack some flavor, enjoy a drink or two of something healthy, and put something healthy in our minds. So on Friday and Saturday nights, come and let your hair down. Come enjoy the show. We call that Grown Folks Social Hour, where we like to play 3, 5, 10 question Q&A. We like to make you laugh. We love to bring you guests, and we like to just have a good time bringing you the flavor. You know what I'm saying? So again, thank you for continuing to support and show up for Coffee Talk Podcast. This is your host, M. Saba, and this is the Coffee Talk Podcast. I'll see y'all Wednesday for Wednesday night sports. Peace.